The next few poses will be done in a standing position. Please move slowly and at your own pace. Keep the sturdy chair nearby for balance if needed. If you find that I'm talking faster than you are moving, please take your time and do fewer repetitions. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Place the feet about hips-width apart and grounded on the floor. Lift the toes and spread them nice and wide, and feel the navel pull gently in towards the spine. Push the toes into the floor and lean forward just a little bit. Feel the muscles that keep you steady. Lean back just a little bit and feel the toes come up. Feel the muscles that keep you steady in this position. Now push all four corners of the feet into the floor. Notice the steadiness of mountain pose. Notice how the steadiness of mountain pose feels. On the next inhale, roll the shoulders towards the ears, back and down so the shoulders are slightly open. Let the palms rest open to the side. Inhale and let the arms rise with the palms facing up. Exhale, bend at the elbows and allow the hands to come down the center line. Sink into the knees just a little. Repeat this again. Inhale, lift the arms with the palms facing up. Allow the hands and face to be relaxed. Continue with this movement at your own pace. Breathe as you move and try to coordinate the breath with the movement. On the next breath, lift the arms back over the head. Fingertips point in, palms face up. Imagine that you have candles in the palms of your hands and you do not want to spill them. Turn the fingertips so they face behind you. The palms remain up. Turn the fingertips to the side and then to the front like an offering, then out to the side walls. Breathe as you move, up to the top with the fingers facing in again, towards one another, and then forwards like an offering, then out to the side walls. Breathe as you move, up to the top with the fingers facing in again. Let's do this rotation one more time. After the second rotation, allow the hands to cascade down by the side and let them rest. Pause for one slow inhale and exhale. One more breath. Inhale, exhale. This next exercise is excellent for strengthening the spine and gently stretching the muscles of the back, front, and sides. Attempt to make the movement easeful and gentle. We will do these movements with various arm positions. The first arm position is the easiest. Please be sure to stay with the one that feels best for your body. We will demonstrate them all. Take the right hand to the waist and then the left. Roll the shoulders open. And on the exhale, lean to the right. Inhale to the center. On the exhale, lean to the left. Inhale back to the center. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And on the next inhale, gently pull the navel towards the spine. Pull the shoulder blades softly together. Get a small lift in the chin and feel a sense of lengthening through the front of the body. On the next exhale, begin to fold gently forward. It does not have to be all the way. Bend the knees slightly. Inhale and rise back to a standing position. Open the left arm to the side. Keep the elbow bent. Leave the right hand on the waist. Inhale. Exhale, lean slightly to the right, and then return back to the center. Bring the left hand down to the waist. Lift the right arm. Inhale. Exhale and lengthen to the left. Return to the center. Roll the shoulders open. Gently pull the navel in towards the spine. Pull the shoulder blades softly together. Get a small lift in the chin. Exhale and fold forward halfway. Inhale back to standing. Open the left arm again. Inhale, and on the exhale, lean to the right. Inhale and return back to the center. Place the left hand on the waist. Lift the right arm. Inhale. On the exhale, lean to the left. Inhale and return back to the center. Roll the shoulders open. Lengthen through the front of the body. Slightly pull the shoulder blades together. Get a small lift in the chin. Exhale and fold forward. Knees slightly bent. Inhale and return to standing in mountain pose. Pause for a moment. Inhale and exhale. For this warrior sequence, attempt to keep the movements gentle and relaxed. If you notice that you are struggling, move the feet closer together. Lower the arms or make the movements smaller. This pose is great for strengthening the legs, respiration, and opening the shoulders. Step the left foot forward just a few feet. The back foot points in at a 45-degree angle. The front knee bends and the hips face front if possible. Inhale, open the arms and bend at the elbows. On the exhale, bring the hands and elbows towards each other. Inhale, open the arms and push the heart softly forwards. Relax the shoulders. Exhale, bring the arms together. Inhale, open the arms to where you feel comfortable. Exhale, relax the arms inwards. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, exhale. Bring the hands back down by the side, return to mountain pose. One breath here. Inhale, exhale. Step the right foot forward. Take a moment, there's no rush. Ground the back foot into the floor. Bend the front knee. When you are ready, open the arms. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands and elbows towards one another. Inhale, open the arms. This is a relaxed opening in the chest. Exhale, bring the hands and arms towards one another. Inhale, repeat again, creating spaciousness with a full inhale. Exhale, contract and relax the arms slightly. 2 more times at your own pace. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let the hands rest down by the side and return back to mountain pose. Pause here for a few breaths.
Welcome back to the 38th online episode of Peacetime, hosted every Sunday morning by Peace Point with myself, Phra Nicholas Thanissaro, live streaming from Dhamma International Meditation Center in Azusa, California. Last time you saw me, we looked at meditation and its benefits. And with the Dhamma talk today, we will revisit one of my earlier broadcasts from 2020 entitled Aim in Life and the 5 Hindrances, to make some repairs to the recording. So today's session will run to about an hour and a quarter with 20 minutes talk, half an hour meditation, and then finishing up with 25 minutes of viewer questions and news updates. As usual, in case anyone out there is actually listening this session, I would encourage you to send in any questions you have by emailing me at peacetime.questions@gmail.com so that I can have a shot at answering those questions next time round. So let's start by looking at purpose in life. Did you ever feel that life is passing you by at an alarming pace? All of us started off as a mere baby, grew up to go to elementary school and then to high school. Some of us went to college to get a degree, and with that, the expectation that a nice degree would get us a nice job. And with a nice income, we would get a nice partner, and before long, you could have your own family. But then you find yourself getting older, and the doctor starts to visit you more frequently. And then they bury you under the ground, and if you're lucky, perhaps there will be some people who still remember you well enough to come and put flowers on your grave. Without intending to be overly morbid, such a whistle-stop overview of life forces us to consider whether there should be more to life than this. If we are not careful, it's as if life is living us instead of us living our lives. The short spate of life we can have will pass us by in the blink of an eye without us achieving the things we really wanted to do. At the end of the day, we will regret not having done more with our life than really mattered to us. Each day of our lives is made up of 24 hours. But how much of that time do we spend asleep? 5 hours, 6 hours? For some people, it's as much as 10 hours a day. But on average, it's about 8 hours. How much of our time do we spend working or studying? For most people, it is an 8-hour day, and that doesn't include any overtime you might have to do. So it's 16 hours of your 24-hour day already gone without even starting to do the things that matter to you. What do you spend the remaining 8 hours of your day doing? Walking up and down, cooking, eating, doing the dishes, chatting, or binging box sets. Before you know it, you can find the whole of your 24 hours is filled up with things of no great value to you. If it were only a single day, it wouldn't matter that much. But over the course of a lifetime, this might be all you manage to achieve in your life. If this is a case, where will you find the time to meditate? If you're lucky enough to live for 60 years, according to a recent survey, on average, people will have spent 29 years connected to their online life. They will have spent 25 years asleep. They will have spent 17 years trying to lose weight. they will have spent 4.8 years with their friends and family, 2.5 years cooking, a whole year picking out outfits, 5 months grumbling, and only 115 days of their entire life laughing. Thus you can see that our assumption that life is long is definitely disingenuous. We are reckless to think that life is long. You can see that we need to organize our time properly if we are to find time to develop the quality of our minds. You need to make time to meditate. You need to carve out space in your life for your own self-development. Otherwise, old age will creep up on you, leaving you with aches and pains, fatigue, shortness of breath, and no opportunity or energy to devote yourself to your self-development, even if you have the time for it when you're retired. What can you do if you would like to achieve more from life, but you never seem to have time? One way is to add clarity to your priorities and aims in life. It helps to protect us from interruptions in our life which are urgent but not important, like a ringing phone that can upset the whole pace of our lives. Such interruptions can leave us unable to organize our time the way we'd wish. Sometimes these interruptions are really unavoidable, but at other times we give them so much importance and put them too high on our list of priorities so that they end up robbing us of our time. One reason why we are unable to set the priorities we want is because we lack clear perspective on the things we really value. With meditation, we are dealing with a practice and a tradition which has lifelong consequences for us. Therefore, for the practice of meditation and for setting up complementary priorities in life, we cannot afford to overlook a clear perspective of our own lives. We call such an overview our aim in life. If, as meditators, we have a clear aim in life, as intelligent human beings, we will be able to use our wisdom to plan out our lives according to our priorities. If we have no priorities and no direction, more often than not, life will pass us by as if on autopilot. Having clear aim in life will ideally include plans for our life on 3 different levels: the worldly, heavenly, and transcendental levels. Everybody comes into the world with nothing, but everyone has the same basic needs for survival, whether it be food on our plates, the clothes on our backs, the roof over our head, or the medicine we need to keep us healthy in times of illness. If any one of these things are lacking from people's lives, they cannot survive. According to the law of threes, you can survive 3 minutes without breathable air, 3 hours in an extreme environment, 3 days without drinkable water, and 3 weeks without food. This is why it's only natural that at the very least, people should aim to be self-sufficient in their basic physical needs. If their aim in life is any lower than this, then they cannot survive, or they become a burden on other people. Of course, some people are not satisfied with just surviving. They may want to be millionaires. They may want creature comfort, to realize the American dream and retire at 40. In fact, just however much or little you want, whether it is just to fulfill your physical needs or to satisfy your physical wants, such an aim in life is still quite short-sighted. It is based on immediate rewards: to eat, drink, and be merry. In their youth, people seek experience. In their middle age, they amass wealth. Towards the end of their life, they try to find an heir for their wealth. Such aims in life are called worldly because they extend no further than this world and this existence. Those who entertain only such an aim in life should at least make sure they earn their living in an honest way by earning, saving, and using their earnings in a responsible way, and entrusting honest people to look after shared wealth. Nonetheless, to go beyond the limitations of the worldly aim in life, fulfilling the physical needs of the body. To avoid a meaningless life, it is important to have an aim in life that runs deeper than that. While recognizing that we can't avoid earning a living, we have to accept that our salary is only a means to an end. While we all suffer from physical hunger, we also suffer to a greater or lesser extent from a hunger of the spirit or the mind as well. If the mind is left hungry, it will deprive your life of a sense of meaning, the upshot of which is that alongside your worldly pursuits, you also need to find time to reach toward a higher spiritual dimension. Achieving a sense of meaning in life is facilitated by having a heavenly level of aim in life. There are 5 ways you can build a heavenly dimension into a busy life. The first is having a part-time pursuit of your spiritual aims. You might set aside a certain time of your day to pursue the spiritual dimension of your life, perhaps at a particular time of the day, maybe in the morning or in the evening, to meditate uninterrupted by other activities. If you can't find a little time every day, instead you might try taking time out especially, otherwise known as a sabbatical pursuit of the spiritual dimension of your life. You might set aside certain periods of your life to devote yourself entirely to the spiritual dimension. Some devote their youth to spiritual pursuits, but need to spend the rest of their life looking after their own family. Some devote their middle age to spiritual pursuits, while in their youth and in their old age, they work simply for their more immediate physical needs. Some take a year out after college. The more time in that period they can devote to their spiritual pursuits, the more they can learn, just like a university professor needs to take research sabbaticals from time to time. Otherwise, they'll have nothing new to teach to their students. The third way is to have a selective career path that will facilitate your spiritual values. You might adopt a particular career or job where you can make a real difference to the world or other people's lives. Usually, such jobs don't pay as well as the ones that are part of the rat race. For example, you probably earn more as an accountant than as a nurse. But as an accountant, you may not feel as spiritually uplifted when you are tired at the end of a long day at work. Another potentially easy way to reclaim time for spiritual matters is to simplify your relational ties. In other words, to have a minimum of family ties or dependence. This doesn't mean abandoning your responsibility to your parents, but however spiritually inclined your family may be, it will always compromise your ability to elevate the quality of the mind. If you have a small family or no children or stay single, then you will have more freedom to pursue your spiritual development single-mindedly. Supposing you want to use your life to the full in the pursuit of the practice of generosity, and supposing you want to make regular donations to a good cause. You will always have to weigh up how much you are able to give without impacting other aspects of your life. It depends on the number of ties in your life, what proportion of every $100 you can afford to give to charity. If you're single and live alone, at most you'll be able to give $50 to charity. But once you're married, you will only be able to give $5. If you have a child, you will only be able to give a single dollar. And if you have 2 or 3 children, then you will be hard pushed to give anything. In the same way as making donations, the free time you have to pursue things that interest you will also decrease in proportion to the number of ties you have. A final way to integrate spirituality into your life, if none of the other time-consuming aspects suit you, is to have an uplifting attitude to material possessions. You might cultivate skillful spending of your earnings in order to uplift the mind. Whichever way you set up your life as a householder who seeks to elevate the quality of your mind, you'll have to adapt the values you believe in, especially concerning how you spend what you can earn. If you spend a lot on possessions, so that means the things you have, you will often compromise on the quality of your spirit, which refers to your experiences or the things that you are. There is a choice in life that is encapsulated in the title of the 1976 book by Erich Fromm, between to have or to be. It is perhaps best reflected in the trend amongst many millennials these days to choose to rent a place to live in instead of buying, and who would rather spend money on new experiences than weigh themselves down with new possessions. In the way we use our earnings, it is not so important how much or how rich, but how the money is spent. Supposing you get your first pay packet. If you had no interest in the quality of your mind, you'll probably selfishly spend your first pay packet on luxuries like aftershave or lipstick. However, wouldn't it be more uplifting to use the same amount of money to buy a gift to show your gratitude to your parents? The expense in both cases may be the same, but the feeling is very different. In the first case, the money does nothing to elevate the quality of the mind or the quality of society. In the second case, however, the use of money brings comfort and joy to those parents and strengthens the bonds of gratitude in society. No matter whether the pay packet is large or small, the important denominator for raising the quality of the mind is the amount left at the end of the month, and how much of this can be shared for the benefit of others or the benefit of society. Such aims in life are known as heavenly because they extend further than the mundane world and this existence. Those who entertain a strong spiritual aim in life will usually cultivate the faith or confidence that doing good deeds is of some benefit. They must not exploit or take advantage of their fellow man. They should be generous and they should try to become wiser as they go through life. Last of all, there are those whose awareness of the hunger in the mind is so great that they need to deal with the hunger at its root. So great is the intensity of their calling that they seek opportunities to devote themselves full-time to the pursuit of spirituality, not just to improve their sense of meaning in life, but to reach spiritual perfection. They hope to purify themselves so completely that the hunger in the mind may be completely extinguished. They have to have sufficient time to devote to spiritual study without having to compromise their time in order to earn a living. They will spend their time learning the spiritual way and teaching it to the best of their ability, so intensively that the life of the householder and the family no longer holds any attraction for them. Such a level of aim in life is known as transcendental because it's like the express lane that seeks to bring a person to the end of all further suffering and to help others to do the same. This is mostly the domain of monks and nuns, but it can also be sampled by spending time following 8 precepts or participating in a meditation retreat. Often we go through life without much thought of the direction. Some feel that they would rather go with the flow, going wherever life takes them. However, to live life like this risks never fulfilling the things that really we are looking for in life. Often we assume life will be long and that we will always have the opportunity to change our path. The inconvenient truth, though, is that we probably have less time than we think. In the words of one young meditator from Thailand, even if you play a game of chess, you still have to have a plan in your mind of what you're going to do several moves in advance, and that is only a chess game. So what about the reality of our lives when we cannot decide to suddenly have a do-over? What is happening in our lives is gone for good. No one can afford to live their life by trial and error with no thought of where their life is heading. Did you ever give any thought to your own life and what you expect to achieve by the end of your life? Or if you don't want to think that far ahead, did you ever plan what you would like to achieve by the time you reach the age of 25 or 40 or 60. Some of the things in our lives will happen automatically by themselves, without us making any special effort. And in such a case, we will have a probable lifeline. It will be the sort of life which happens to you by default if you don't attempt to call the shots. However, if you are a person who likes to take control of those precious moments that pass you by with every in-breath and every out-breath, why not take a few moments to plan what sort of life you would choose to see for yourself? The sort of life you could look back on in your dotage with pride and contentment, not the sort of life where you look back on it and wish that you could have your time all over again. This would be something that you could refer to as your possible lifeline. In your possible lifeline, try to include something from each of the 3 levels I discussed earlier: worldly, heavenly, and transcendental, at each stage in your life. From person to person, the emphasis might be more on the worldly level, heavenly level, or transcendental level, depending on your personal preferences. You may think that aim in life and meditation might be completely disconnected from one another. But as you reflect more wisely on your life, an ability that comes as a natural byproduct of getting to know yourself through meditation, you will find that your aim in life takes on more clarity. So now, to see if we can gain some clarity on our own aim in life, let's take a break halfway for some meditation, which today is entitled World Peace Through Inner Peace. So at this time, we settle ourselves down for half an hour meditation. If you'd like to find a comfortable sitting position for yourself now, as you listen to my guidance.
So we are going to sit now for meditation. If you'd like to find a comfortable position for yourself in meditation, having done chanting in homage to the Triple Gem, from this moment forth, all of us should do our best to realign our minds with the pathway towards nirvana. Sit in a cross-legged position, with your right leg on your left leg, your right hand on your left hand, the index finger of your right hand touching against the thumb of your left hand, with your hands resting palm upwards on your lap. And close your eyes very gently. Close your eyes gently, as if you were only half closing them, almost as if you were closing your eyes to go to sleep. Never squeeze your eyes closed, and make sure there's no pressure around your eyes. Fill your mind with happiness and joy. And suppose that inside your body is bright and clear, free of any sort of worries or anxieties, with no worries about anything at all. Imagine that inside your body is just a hollow cavity, and feel as if you were sitting alone in empty space, without any organs or tissues, without any muscles or bones, as if it is completely empty inside yourself, spacious, like a hollow cavity inside yourself, rather like a crystal tube or a diamond pipe, clear and bright, transparent inside yourself, as if the surface of your body is as delicate and clear as a bubble, hollow, with an empty space inside yourself like a crystal or a diamond tube. and we bring our mind together at the center of our body. At a standstill, at the center of our body, the seventh base of the mind, which is approximately in the middle of our stomach, 2 fingers above the level of our navel. To be precise, you can imagine that you take 2 thin threads, one running from your navel directly through your back, the other running from the right side to the left side, so that the 2 threads come to an intersection at the center of the body. The intersection is no larger than the eye of a needle. 2 finger breadths above the intersection is a point we call the 7th base of the mind. To see this point clearly, your mind has first to be at a standstill, which means that we must have no further thoughts. But in practice, we can approximate to this point, or we can just focus our mind anywhere in the center of our stomach, giving it the benefit of the doubt, anywhere which feels right for you, and later, when the mind becomes more refined, it will come precisely to the center of its own accord. Today, as we meditate, we'll take the opportunity to explore the greater implications of meditation towards quality of life and quality of the environment, in contrast to the opinion often put about that meditation is selfish and is running away from the problems of the world. The existence of defilements in the mind, such as greed, hatred, and delusion, affects not only the quality of our mind, but also the quality of our life, and even has an effect on the environment around us. The quality of the mind affects the environment rather than vice versa. Because our actions affect the world we live in on 3 different levels of description, otherwise known as the world of formations, or Sankhara Loka, the world of beings, or Satta Loka, and the world of location, or Okasa Loka. When we talk about the world of formations, we mean the body, which is home to our mind. The quality of our mind affects our physical health and our longevity, as we can see from studies on meditation, which show improved rates of convalescence in patients who meditate regularly. When we talk about the world of beings, we talk about the nature or disposition of all beings in the world. Often the tendencies to aggression, which bring about war in the first place, can be bypassed completely if those making the decisions in the world have their mind calmed by meditation the whole of the time. When we talk about the world of location, we mean the quality and abundance of the physical environment we inhabit. Of course, it means pollution in the atmosphere and destruction of the rainforests. But in Buddhism, we see that such environmental damage is just a symptom of damage which is going on much deeper in the human mind. And if the minds of people in the world were purer, then the environment would automatically become free of ecological problems. Thus, the importance of events like Earth Day or World Meditation Day is that large numbers of people the world over sit for meditation to benefit the world as a whole. They are celebrations of meditation when we share the benefits of our meditation for everybody in the world. Some misunderstand that for a person to meditate is antisocial, or is escaping from the problems of the world. But such events show that meditators also have a social conscience, and have their own solutions to problems which often go unsolved by conventional methods. When we have increased defilements in our minds, we are unable to take control of our lives, to live it to the fullest of our potential, and even our lifespans are shortened. This is no exaggeration, but can be explained by the fact that when we act under the influence of defilements in the mind, we live by trial and error. We don't know what is damaging to ourselves and what is not. Thus, in our process of trial and error, we do more damage than good to ourselves, our lives, and the environment. The quality of the mind decreases. The environment suffers from the acts of greed, exploitation, and pollution that result. People are impatient in the harvest of crops, and in their greed they use more and more chemicals to hurry the growth of the crops. Eventually, the food becomes contaminated, reducing our lifespan as a result. In the end, the chemicals build up in the bodies of the consumers, leading to shortened lifespan. There are implications not only towards our lives, but also towards the environment. Some find it difficult to believe that defilements in the mind can have an effect on the quality of the atmosphere. But if you don't believe it for yourself, try comparing the atmosphere of a room used regularly for meditation, and compare it with a bar in a nightclub. The temperature in both rooms might be the same, but the vibration is different. The vibration can be changed by something as seemingly insignificant as an argument. Thus, anywhere where defilements have got the upper hand, the atmosphere will be spoiled. And when the atmosphere is spoiled, the rain doesn't fall according to the season. In ancient times, they acknowledged this interconnectedness, and so, whenever there was any problem with the lack of rainfall, they would call a meeting of everybody in the country and agree for everybody to upgrade the quality of their conduct. They would do chanting, meditate, spread loving kindness, give alms, and keep the precepts. And when they did this, usually within the space of 7 days the rain would fall. Nowadays, though, it's not often that everybody in a particular place would be so unified and cooperative in doing good deeds, such as keeping the precepts, or giving alms, or meditating together. Nowadays, it is hard to find people gathering together in large numbers to do anything constructive. All you see is people coming together in a mob to protest about this or that. All they manage to do by their efforts is to make the atmosphere even worse. Thus, if you want to discover the way to solve the problems in the proper way, such as getting to the root of the problems of the environment in the same way the ancients used to do, then we should give first priority to eradicating defilements from the mind. It is for this reason that in the Buddhist concepts of old, people saw that the pollution of the mind through defilements extrapolated to pollution in our lives with problems of immorality, and the pollution of the natural environment with poisons. It is for this reason that the World Fellowship of Buddhist Youth decided to adopt Hiroshima Day, the 6th of August each year, as a day of peace in the world, calling it World Meditation Day, because although Buddhists around the world might not agree on the calendar dates for Vesak, Magha Puja Day, or Katina, all agree that by meditating together, the world can become a more peaceful place. Meditation will help all the people of the world to discover peace inside themselves, to the point that they will be able to attain true wisdom. Once they have mindfulness and wisdom, they will realize their true purpose in life, and they will be able to set proper priorities in life, leading their lives without harming one another. They will have compassion towards one another. Therefore, World Meditation Day is a great opportunity for all of us to spread loving kindness and share the benefits of our merit for all the people of the world, with a wish that they too may attain true peace inside, that inner peace may be the basis of world peace, that they may overcome all their aggression and ill will in harming one another, so that their minds may be filled with loving kindness and compassion, that they will be willing to share what they have with others. Similarly, Earth Day, on the 22nd of April each year, which throughout the world is a festival when everyone recollects that it's about time that we ought to take better care of our planet. Again, we see care for the world on all three levels of meaning. By sitting together for meditation to cultivate purity and clarity, which is refined in our mind and can be enlarged to the world on all three levels: the level of the body, the level of the community of beings, and the level of the environment too. Something that can start from inside our very own minds, to purify the earth on all three levels, even to the extent that the planets, the stars, the sun, the moon and the galaxies, even the cosmos, reaching all beings irrespective of race, creed, nationality or religion, so that all may be purified completely of all forms of decay. All of these things start out from our bright, clear mind inside ourselves, and it's the starting point for the seed of peace on our planet. This is why we have to bring about real peace in the world by this method, because the real peace comes from the peace inside ourselves. World peace must come from inner peace, and this peace will enlarge continuously to bring real peace in the world. We have to practice peace and enlarge peace from the inside out, by cultivating our mind in a bright and a peaceful way. We have to start by aligning our mind with the inner peace inside ourselves. Inner peace will ensure safety for the world and bring about real peace in the world as a whole. Because the peace of the world cannot happen simply by dialogue or debate or waging war in the name of peace. But what we can learn from history is that external wars, for various reasons, have never brought about lasting peace in the world. All wars have managed to achieve is to bring about suffering in our human community. More justified than the external wars are the wars we must wage inside ourselves. The war inside the mind which we must wage is a war that does not lead to casualties or cruelty. It is a war by which we must face up to our real enemy, which is the defilements in our own minds, whether it be the defilements of greed, hatred, or delusion, which are latent in our minds. These are our real enemies, the enemies of all beings in the world. Each time we go onto the battlefield of the mind, although there are no casualties, there's nothing to cry about from the losses of the battle, but to the contrary, at all levels of this battle inside, the more we manage to overcome our enemies on the battlefield of the mind, the more happiness will come to us. A sort of happiness which has no admixture of suffering at all. This happiness will be established in our mind in the place of suffering. So real peace in the world can only come about when everyone in the world can bring their mind to a standstill, to attain inner peace inside themselves. It cannot happen by the power of supernatural beings, but it has to come from ourselves. It has to come from the grassroots efforts of individual people, cooperating together, and the peace of each individual person will combine to protect the whole of our planet, and at that time all the people in the world and the world itself will come across true and lasting peace. This is something which people have been searching for since time immemorial. But what we discover is that our efforts have been in vain, because we've been looking for peace in the wrong place. We have overlooked the fact that the peace we are looking for already exists inside ourselves. In fact, the real peace, the real success and fulfillment, is not something which we have to look around ourselves for. We can find all of these things inside ourselves, at the center of our body, at the seventh base of our own mind. And each person can find it in their own mind just as we can, with no exceptions in respect to creed, nationality or religion. By bringing our mind to a standstill at this point and nowhere else, because if we focus our mind anywhere else, we cannot meet up with inner peace. We need to rest our mind gently at this point, and in this way we can liberate ourselves and liberate the whole of humankind from the control of the defilements in our minds, in a permanent way. In fact, true peace already exists in our mind. We have more than enough peace in our mind to share with others in the world. All that is required is that we bring our mind to a standstill and allow our mind to become peaceful, bright, and clear. In order to attain inner peace inside ourselves as a refuge which is able to bring about real peace in the world. If all of us were able to attain inner peace inside ourselves, we would touch on great happiness. We would have a refuge inside ourselves, and we will feel at ease and secure in every place we go. Our mind would be perfused with joy right from the moment we first attain inner peace in ourselves, bright and clear in the center of our body. Inner peace at the center of our body. Once enough people in the world meditate and attain inner peace within themselves, the real signs of peace would start to happen in the world, starting from ourselves first and gradually spreading outwards to the whole of the world. This will be the witness to the fact that our life has come to a point of fulfillment, that we experience only happiness, no matter what lifetime we will arise in. To have fulfillment in life, from this time forth, we will be someone who has no further ill will or vengeance or negative retribution catching up with us, no matter how many more lifetimes we must be born for. We will achieve success in every task we turn our hand to from this lifetime onwards. We will be able to see peace in its long-term form, and this could be achieved by training ourselves in meditation each and every day. In fact, meditation is something universal, which anyone in the world can practice. It doesn't depend on one's beliefs. It is as much a part of human life as breathing in and out. It ought to be as regular a part of our daily routine as brushing our teeth or combing our hair. By meditation, we can gradually add to the peace inside ourselves every day. And if we manage this within our human lifespan, the world will change for the better, to become a more peaceful and harmonious place. If people are able to attain this inner peace inside themselves, they will meet up with real happiness, a happiness which is true happiness, not like the thing which we normally assume is happiness, but which in fact is only a pale reflection of the real thing. Once we have true happiness inside, this happiness will expand to those around us in our surroundings, to our families, our communities, and eventually our whole nation and the whole world. In such a way, peace will spread throughout the world in a subtle but determined way, simply by the fact that people will have attained the true refuge inside themselves. Thus, inner peace is something that is very important. We should all try to attain inner peace for ourselves, and today, the purpose of our meditation practice is to attain this inner peace for ourselves. And the way we can do this is by bringing our mind to a standstill at the center of our body, by imagining the image of a bright, clear crystal ball, or a bright, clear Buddha image, bringing our mind to a standstill inside that bright, clear image inside ourselves. And, in order that no thoughts crop up in our mind, we may also repeat silently to ourselves the sound of the mantra, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, over and over again, consistently and continuously, while maintaining our mind at a standstill at the center of the body, at a point 2 finger breadths above the level of our navel. It is all we need to do in our meditation practice. There's nothing else apart from this we have to do. If we can do this and nothing else, we will soon attain inner peace inside ourselves. As a result of such practice, all of us will have a united vision to arrive at peace in our world. Once we understand one another in the world, true peace will emerge as soon as all of our minds are refined to the point that we can be witness to the peace and purity inside ourselves. Whether it be a clear sphere or a clear Buddha image inside ourselves with our eyes open or closed. And on the basis of all of the merit we have accrued by our practice, we should make the wish that through the considerable merit of our attainment in the meditation, that the merit of our meditation together on this occasion will protect the world, so that all beings in the world, whether of any race, religion, or creed, experience real peace, so that all beings in the world may give up fighting amongst themselves, but instead be protected by peace and loving kindness, compassion from this moment forth. May all of you rest your mind in peace at the center of your body, with a bright, clear crystal ball at the center of your body, with a bright, clear Buddha image at the center of your body, until the inner brightness arises for you. Brightness which will come from the mind that is filled with compassion and loving kindness for one's fellow man, which is the basis of real peace in the world. So now, all of you should make the effort to attain inner peace inside yourself. Now each their own meditation in silence for a few more moments, until we come to the appropriate time.
Sabba Buddhanuppavena, Sabba Dhammanuppavena, Sabba Sankhanuppavena Sattha Soti. One, two, So if you'd like to come to the end of your meditation for today, you can gradually open your eyes again. If you feel at all uncomfortable, then slowly try changing to a more comfortable position before gradually finishing your practice. So to return to our subject matter for today, did you know that a smile uses a smaller number of muscles in your face than a frown? So why not smile instead and let your face relax for a change? Notice whether, when you smile, your feelings change or not. This is also a question that has puzzled scientists. Which comes first, the smile or the happiness? Some say that you have to be happy first before you can smile. But the scientific evidence shows that even faking a smile sparks off a chemical reaction in the brain that releases certain hormones, including dopamine and serotonin, which increase your feeling of happiness. So even if you're not happy and you smile, it will lead you to feel happier. Thus, you can see that there is good reason to suppose that happiness is something that we all have the freedom to choose, and which is not merely dependent on the factors and circumstances in the outside world. This is by way of introduction to the subject of real happiness. You may ask yourself the reason why people seem to find so much difficulty in attaining happiness in life. Are we searching perhaps in the wrong place? Another way of putting the question is why, if human nature is supposed to be happy, don't we automatically feel happy all the whole time? The answer to this question is that although deep inside we may feel happy, on the surface our mind is clouded by impurities, which in everyday life we call defilements, but in the context of meditation we call hindrances. If we don't know about these obstacles, or we can't keep up with the way that they hijack the mind, then they will not only ruin our meditation, but they will possibly impede access to happiness in our lives as well. If the mind is free from such obstacles, it is transparent, clear and bright, like the water in this glass. It's so clear that when you look through it, you get an accurate picture of the reality of the world around you. The hindrances we experience in meditation are like impurities that remain in our mind. Just as our body is weakened by bacteria or viruses that don't belong there, in the same way the mind is weakened by impurities, or as we see them expressed, bad habits. These illnesses of the mind can be broken down into 3 categories: greed, hatred, and delusion, each of which have different characteristics in the way they affect the mind. And from these 3 categories, as they relate to our meditation, we expand the detail into 5 different problems that tend to occur in meditation, otherwise known as the 5 hindrances. Let's see how the 3 sorts of defilements and the 5 hindrances are related, and then we'll look at each of the hindrances and how they can be overcome, because if all 5 release their hold on your mind, then you will automatically touch upon that inner clarity and happiness that we all aspire to in our meditation. The first category of defilement is greed, wanting to get something, especially given the opportunity, wanting to cheat people or steal from others. Greed or desire for things, especially those things obtained dishonestly, will affect our meditation adversely. Our mind will fall under the sway not of a streetcar named desire, but by a hindrance named sense desire. It will color our perception of things, making it hard to see the world as it really is. Just like a drop of ink that taints the clarity of clear water in a glass, you can appreciate that greed can have a big effect on the mind as well. Like colored ink, it is not so serious that we cannot see the world around us anymore, although we may perceive reality to be a different color from the actuality. However, it will take a long time before this ink separates from the water. In the same way, for a sense desire, as you may know from experience, the effects of this defilement may not be so serious. You may steal or become obsessed as the worst consequences of this defilement, but as with things like heartbreak, it takes a long time to break free from the effects of the defilement. We can suffer from too much or too little of this defilement as it relates to our meditation. In meditation,